So before we start, we'll go over the tools and stuff needed. So I have this Mao replacement filter, part number KL147D. I have a screwdriver here. This is just your standard screwdriver that's going to be used to loosen the clamp holding the filter in. I have pliers. Any old pliers will work. There's just some clamps on the hose. And then finally, to prime the system, I ordered this hand pump kit off Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive. I'll put a link in the comments, but there's different methods on priming the system. From what I've heard, this is going to be one of the better ways to avoid getting air in the lines. So with the hood popped, first thing you're going to have to identify is the filter, which is right here. The clamp that needs to be loosened for the filter is right here. So we're going to give that a couple turns so that way it loosens up. Alright, so first we're going to take these two fittings off. Pretty easy. Give them a clamp, slide them back. So next is going to be this fitting. If you still have the original bunny ears, basically you just pull back and that comes out just like that. Don't lose it. So next we need to remove the hoses. Depending on the condition of yours, these should hopefully just slide off. Might take a little bit of convincing by the pliers, but you know, depending on your mileage and the condition, be careful here. They should just come relatively easy. Alright, so once these are off, this one you got to very delicately give it a wiggle, pop right off. Alright, so with that off, we're going to move all the lines out of the way and then carefully give it a little wiggle here. Should come right up. I got a little catch can here so we could pour the diesel out, see what all's in there. So a quick peek. We're replacing the filter with the same type, so obviously the used one, a little grungy, but same part, same style is what it's being replaced with. In the contents of the package, you're going to get 2 new O-rings. We'll go back to the car real quick and we'll show you where those are for. So if you look at the bottom of this fitting here, you're going to see a blue and a black O-ring. In the kit that we got a fresh blue and black O-ring. So to replace these, you're going to take a pick tool, your finger, or whatever you want, but basically get in there and you're going to pop these out. Remember the orientation. So on my car, the blue is on the top and black is on the bottom. But you can see here, this O-ring actually ripped coming off. Let's try this other one here. This one's a little more pliable, but give it a pull. And that one also stretched and broke. So in reverse order, we're going to put the blue one on first. Again, be careful. If you rip these, you're going to have to go buy yourself another filter. It's now in place. And then black one is in place. You could use O-ring lubricant. There's a little bit of diesel fuel on there, but make sure when you install this that it's not dry. Alright, so now we're going to put the filter back in, so make sure your hoses are out of the way and should just slide right down like such. You can adjust the height of the filter in this housing and then obviously tighten that screw when you're ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the T-fitting in first. Should just slide right in. On one side, grab the other. See if it's bound up there. Should just pop right in. So make sure those tabs are there. This guy's there, so then you know that won't pull out. Next, we're going to reconnect this line. Get your clamp on. Get that guy back where it needs to be. So if you notice, there's a little arrow under this middle guy. So that's what we're gonna need in order to prime this. So we're gonna pop this fitting off here. All right, so we got it assembled here. You have your little canister. This is gonna go on the fitting of the fuel pump, or the fuel filter, and then your hand pump. So let's go back to the car and give it a shot. All right, let's try to get this hand pump slid up on here. All right, so with the clear hose, when you're pumping it, you should be able to see when it starts pulling fuel. So let's give it some time here. Oh, you can see it starting to come through there. Give it a couple more pumps. All right, so you can see the diesel coming out, all the air bubbles. We're gonna give it a couple more squeezes here until it's solid fuel. All right, it's starting to look real good here. I'll let it bleed off a little more. See how the bubbles are going away? That's what we're looking for. All right, so we're gonna let that calm down, and then we'll pull that hose off. Might make a little bit of a mess here, but it's worth it. All right. So next, we're just gonna slide this line back on and put the clamp back on. All right, so clamps, make sure they're lined up decent. There's, if you look, just a small gap of rubber on the ends. This is tight, these guys are tight. So next, all we gotta do is retighten that screw on the side here, which will just brace the filter. Give it a little bit here. Now that that's tight, give it a little wiggle. Everything seems good. And next, we're gonna start the car and make sure we got no leaks. Everything looks good. We got no leaks. Everything's tight. Car's running. So, job well done.